Welcome to this week's edition of the Pete Mezzetti Show. I'm your host, Pete Mezzetti, sitting here with Peter Nye. Peter, welcome. How are you?
You are a pro.
I am
I wanted
a pro.
you.
Thank
I thought you were going to ask me to say my name clearly into the microphone.
No.
Peter Nye. Now, how do you get this set up, Pete, at Luigi's? It's Halloween, and you have your own personal Halloween party.
Right.
I mean, it's unbelievable.
Pete Mezzetti's having a Halloween
You are
party.
unbelievable. No one has any idea the pull you have on the shoreline.
Right.
Except me.
And I get to hang out with Pete Nye
I know,
for a half hour.
And,
Man, how lucky am I?
In our own, we have a bar to ourselves.
Right, exactly.
It's a children's show? Are there children listening?
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
But
I don't want to.
Well, it's also an adult show because last time I checked, I'm not a kid. Well, I might be.
Yeah.
So, all right, Pete. Last time, I understand. Obviously, you play in a band.
Yeah.
And you guys had a gig last night. For Halloween.
Yeah. Okay.
How'd it go?
You know, I was gonna be a little upset that you do all the questions. You get to ask all the questions.
All right.
Maybe I'm gonna ask a couple questions.
That's
today,
fine.
But you asked a question that I don't mind talking about.
All right.
So
Good.
last night we played the Little Pub Halloween gig.
Yeah.
Over and here in Saybrook.
Right.
And it was raining. So anytime there's a gig and it's raining, you're thinking maybe the turnout's not going to be very good.
Mm-hmm.
But there was a toga party of about 8 people that showed up, and they started dancing. And once that happened, the leashes were off, and it was incredible. It was and I don't like to if it's not a good gig, I'll tell you it's
not
wasn't
a good gig. Right.
We've had plenty of not good gigs that I'd be happy to tell you about. Those are some of the most memorable. But last night was such a good time. It was a great time, yeah. And
good turnout.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, the thing is, like our first set. You ever been to one of our gigs, Pete?
I think maybe
Indeed
one or
you
two.
have. In fact, your listeners should know.
No.
That Pete Mezzetti has a standing mic at Doc's every time we play. We set up your own mic to sing with the band.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
He lets his hair down.
Oh.
See, I thought this was a podcast and they wouldn't be able to see your
well,
beautiful hair.
it is, but they can see the hair on TV.
Okay. Well, anyway, you have a standing mic, and you've done some great things with us on the stage. But,
absolutely.
But last night we were prisoners, and Jenny was a warden.
I saw the picture.
You did.
I saw the picture on social media.
Yeah, I got a lot of comments on I don't really look at the social media.
No.
I know people say that, but I really don't.
Right.
You can't tag me, so I don't complain about getting tagged.
Absolutely.
Because I can't get tagged. But when people from a distance start texting you things, it is upsetting.
Right.
The reach of it is just disturbing to people who are like old. This is No Country for Old Men.
Right.
An old man who doesn't want to be messed with,
right.
then it touches you, and it's not. Sometimes it's bad,
No, absolutely.
That's another
absolutely.
topic.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I missed you last night. I know you were prepping for this.
Yeah, I was actually prepping for this. I didn't want to go out and.
But we had to learn. We had to learn a couple new songs last night that we hadn't rehearsed.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
What'd you learn?
We had to learn Jailhouse Rock because we were dressed as.
Right.
I think we changed our band name to Incarcerated. Just for the
That's
night. It's kind of a
accurate.
cool name.
All right.
Incarcerated.
Right.
But we had to learn Jailhouse Rock and Monster Mash, but we didn't practice them. So
Really?
Yeah, Monster Mash. You familiar with that song?
Mm-hmm.
This is the one I was gonna play, but I can't play because you guys would get angry with me and everyone would get in trouble. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I brought it up.
Yeah.
But if you think about Monster Mash, you've never practiced it. It's all backup vocals.
It is.
It'd be nice to hear it right now.
Right.
Maybe you could dub it over if you guys get permission later.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
But it's about the backup vocals. So when you're the lead singer, it's hard.
Right.
So I made Russ sing it.
Oh, there you go.
I said, Russ, you sing it. I'll do the backup. So I knew the hard part would be done. Anyway.
Yes.
That's that. So my question for you is, how many times have you been to Big Y since it opened?
In Clinton?
In Clinton.
Twice.
Already?
Twice. Yeah. We were there. We were there the other day. When they opened last week, because my mom wanted to do a walkthrough, and then her and I actually went yesterday because she forgot.
Dolly had to do a walkthrough. She's not buying anything.
No, we ended up grocery shopping.
Oh, you did? Okay.
We ended up grocery shopping, but she'd never been there before, and it's actually a bigger store than the town of Clinton, than the one here in Old Saybrook.
Oh, it is, yeah.
So, and the layout's a little bit different, so we went last week, and then we went yesterday because they wanted to. My dad wanted to try their pizza. They make homemade pizza.
I know. It's not homemade pizza.
Well, no.
It's Big Y pizza.
Yeah.
Okay. And they make their own pizza.
Correct.
But I mean, New Haven pizza.
Oh.
I mean, even Luigi's. What would they say about the Big Y pizza?
No.
It's competitive.
It is.
It's competitive. But anyway,
it is.
No, it is good. Like, what's your favorite section of the store, Pete? How much is Big Y paying? You know what? Forget
how
Big
much
Y.
how much
They're not giving us any free groceries.
No,
for
of course
this.
not. Oh.
Are they?
No.
Sushi for me.
Me too. I actually
like
I like sushi.
How many times a week can you eat sushi without it hurting you, like affecting your
Probably 2 or 3.
health?
Probably 2 or 3.
Yeah.
How about you?
I don't know. It's like mercury in that.
I don't know.
People say that. Like,
Yeah, right.
If you're pregnant, you shouldn't be eating it.
Right, exactly.
So anytime I'm pregnant, I do not eat sushi.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Oh.
All the times. All those times I did not eat sushi.
Oh, there you go.
All right.
There you go.
All right. So I guess my question for you is this one: as you know, you do this work,
Yeah.
and you have a great show.
Mm-hmm.
I love the show. You know, I've messed with the beginning of the show a few times,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe today at some point they'll debut the Spears Nye production of your opening riff. We've been
Right,
talking about this
exactly.
for, what, half a decade we've been talking about this.
I know, and it finally came to fruition.
But how hard is it to get guests and stories? Because I mean, that's what journalism is, or radio is. It's like
Right.
getting guests and stories. How hard is it?
It's not that hard. It's actually not that hard, because what people don't realize is I actually do all of my own research. I do all my own bookings. I do all my own finding of my guests. Everything is done by me. Somebody said to me recently that they would die to have Pete Mezzetti's Rolodex, because somebody was like, I'm having an issue getting a hold of XYZ. And XYZ was actually a guest on my show, so I called them and I'm like, here you go. I handed the person my phone. I'm like, here you go. They were like, who's on the other line? I'm like, the person you're having a problem getting a hold with. They were like, how'd you do that? I'm like, they're a guest on my show, so I pretty much have.
I like that you say XYZ.
Yeah,
we don't even want to talk about this person anymore, whoever it is.
Right.
Yeah, like, we're not having XYZ, or we are having XYZ.
Exactly. Exactly. Wow.
I mean, how many times do you get asked questions on your show, like I'm doing to you right now?
Actually, last week I got asked questions on my show for a half hour, because I had a friend of mine is the executive director of the Quinnipiac Chamber of Commerce. And so last week on my show, for my first show, he interviewed me for a half hour. And then the second show, I interviewed him for a half hour on the Quinnipiac Chamber of Commerce.
Yeah.
So usually, if it's not very often do people ask me questions about my show, but it is actually pretty nice.
Yeah.
I like it.
So I'm a little disappointed that Drew didn't come today.
I know, me too.
Because you have a lot of gigs outside of the show, this
Right.
I don't even know what we're doing today. It's a podcast.
We're doing a live podcast with Hacker Airwaves Radio, and we're doing also my show
Hacker
Airwaves Radio.
That sounds like something.
At FM 87.7. And we're also doing this for video for playback at a later date.
All right, I'm gonna put
on the Pete Mezzetti Show.
Okay, yeah.
So
I'm going to put you on the spot here.
What?
Hacker Airways.
Yes.
Why did the people involved, not that they're listening,
right?
The people involved with naming of Hacker Airways call it Hacker Airways?
I actually don't know the answer to the question.
The suggestion is that they're heavy into computers, and that they are hackers.
No.
No?
No.
So they don't talk about hacking?
No.
Oh.
Nope. No.
Are they hacking the airways to blow people's minds?
Exactly. That's what it is.
That's what it is.
No,
okay, then it makes perfect sense.
Exactly.
I feel like a smart guy.
You do feel like a smart guy.
I was going down the computer road, like they talk about computer stuff. I'm like, you brought the worst person on to talk about computers. Not that I don't know how to use a computer. It's just so what do we? Let's blow people's minds. Hacker Airways.
Hacker.
What do you want to blow their minds with today?
Actually, you know what?
The fact that you have a bar to yourself on Halloween,
I know,
and you can invite whoever you want, that should be blowing people's minds.
Oh, absolutely.
People should be phoning in. Are you doing a telethon here today?
No.
Is there a phone number we're supposed to call to raise money for something?
No, we're not. We're not raising money.
We could do this all afternoon.
We can. Hey, speaking of things, and speaking of events, and speaking of just random thoughts.
Yeah, that's what we're doing.
Yeah, that's what we're doing. Random thoughts. I had one of our closest friends.
Oh boy.
In studio recently on the Pete Mezzetti show.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. What was the topic? And I'll guess.
Football.
Okay, you know what?
Who did I have on with me?
Steve Philippone.
There you go.
All right, and you know what? I don't mind that you brought him up.
No? Good.
Because if he were on the show and you brought me up,
right?
Oh, what about Pete and I? What about that guy?
We actually talked about Pete and I.
Oh, you did?
We did.
Well, I know you did. You know why? Because he comes back to work and he says, "Oh, of course, it's supposed to be about me, Steve Philippone. The whole thing is about me. I'm on the show and he's talking to me, and of course we have to talk about Pete and I." Well, I don't have a problem talking about Steve.
But we also in fairness, not only did we talk about Pete and I, we also talked about Craig Semple.
Yeah.
And we also brought up Glenn Longarini.
Yep. Okay. So the stream of consciousness.
Right.
I just got a call from Grabauer, who's running for
town council.
Right. So Paul calls me up today, and he says he wants to start a Clinton Athletic Hall of Fame.
Okay.
So this is going to be recorded for posterity's sake because this is something that doesn't exist, and we're going to make it become a reality. And I was Craig Semple takes a lot of credit for starting the Madison Hall of Fame.
Right.
It's only a decade, maybe old, decade and a half, maybe at most. So Craig started in 2004, and he started the Madison Athletic Hall of Fame. I think that's what it's called.
Yep.
I was invited to induct Steve Philippone's son, Kevin, on Thursday.
Okay.
And then, so I'm all excited to go to the wharf and go down to the Madison Beach Hotel and give a speech, which makes me very nervous. Yeah. The idea of being in front of a microphone and giving a speech, very nervous, like completely uptight, weeks and months of anxiety. All he did was tell me, you be ready for October 28th because you're going to induct Kevin into the Sports Hall of Fame, Madison Hall of Fame. Right. And I said, okay, I'm going to be ready. And then on Monday he says, no, you know what? You're uninvited. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, he uninvited me.
Why?
Because Larry Ciotti was going to induct him now. Because I wasn't good enough to induct him.
Well, you know what? We'll talk about that coming back. We'll be right back after a short break.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends. How to fit in. How to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 170,000 participants here in Connecticut who take part in high school sports or activities.
Let me take a moment to have a conversation with the brown and black communities. Coming from your community, I completely understand why there's vaccine hesitancy in communities of color. Reality of it all is doing nothing will only guarantee that we will continue to see our friends and family die at a much higher rate. So we've got to do something. So why don't you join me, elbow to elbow, so that we can get back to being the strong community that we have been in the past. God bless you, and let's get this done.
And that was mid-story.
Welcome back to this week's edition of the Pete Mezzetti Show. I'm Pete Mezzetti, sitting here with Pete and I. Pete, welcome back, my friend.
Yeah, I didn't go. I've been here the whole time.
I know you have. I've been here the whole time,
I love this production stuff. It's great. I know it's unprofessional.
That's
and I know you have a bit of a loose cannon rolling around on the deck.
That's okay.
But that's just the way. That's who you had.
That's okay. I'm
so
good
anyway,
with that.
I'm supposed to induct Kevin, right? And I wrote an opening.
Right.
And this is, I mean, you know Paula, Steve's wife. You ever met Paula?
No. Yes, I have.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of passion. We'll call it passion.
Sure.
In the relationship, you know, because he was a football coach, he always had an opinion about it and the whole 9 yards. But yeah, I had a whole opening for Kevin, and I said, you know, this is, and I didn't get to pitch it, so I'm going to pitch it on your show.
Sure, go for it.
was going to open up and say, a lot of you think that Kevin Filippone getting into the Madison Hall of Fame is a big deal. But I can assure you that his surviving being parented by Steve and Paula Filippone, which is akin to being raised by a raven and a wolf,
right,
is a far greater achievement.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you for giving me one laugh.
Oh.
I didn't get to use it. I wonder what Larry said.
Oh.
Sure, he was funny.
Oh, was he?
No, he was not funny. He's scary.
I have never met Larry Ciotti.
So, okay, I'll it's like meeting Joe Pesci, a combination of Joe Pesci.
Okay.
And Ray Liotta at the same time. So kind of like a manic man, but that he's got the look of Pesci. You know? Yeah. I love him.
Yeah?
Yeah. I love him.
Hey, rumor has it that you're running for Board of Education in the town.
You want to talk about that?
Sure.
Because we
can.
It is interesting.
It is. Well, let's talk about it.
You think about what's happening in Guilford.
Right.
Media wants to go over to Guilford.
Right.
They want a story from there. It's getting national attention. Did they have a rally there the other day? Do you know?
I don't know.
Yeah, they had a rally. Governor's there. I think Dick Blumenthal was there.
Oh, good.
And
Pete Mezzetti was not there.
Pete Mezzetti not invited.
Nope.
Neither was Board of Ed candidate Peter Nye.
That's okay.
But I saw it on the news last night after I got home from the gig. So I saw it. I mean, it was a ton of attention is being brought to this. And a local reporter tried to get it going here in Clinton. So he asked all the Board of Ed candidates to put out a statement about teaching critical race theory in classrooms.
Okay.
So I mean, this is like media outlets are dying to get candidates to talk about this stuff. Yet here we are on Hacker Airways, live on Sunday, October 31st.
Right.
And they're getting the story that no one wants to talk about. So I don't think the Harbor News thing was actually published. I mean, I put out a statement, sent it to the reporter. Three other people were requested to do the same thing. I don't know that they did. If they didn't, I don't think they did because he never ran the story. So here's what I did, though. So this is like, the email power move.
Yeah.
I sent it to every town councilman and woman.
Right.
I sent it to everybody on the Board of Ed. I sent it to our superintendent, assistant superintendent. So the people sitting on the board and the other candidates, sent it to them. And I said, you may be you may decontextualize this.
Right.
But I want everybody to see my statement, hear my statement, know where I stand, and what I believe the way we should handle this is.
Right.
So that's it. And unfortunately, it never got published.
Oh, no.
No. And so here I am talking on a mic and still not talking about it. I still didn't say anything about it.
Right.
So you're going to probe me. You're going to force me to say something. Come on. Be a journalist, Pete, and say, Pete, will you be the one candidate to go send something to the newspaper and go live on Hacker Airways
Radio.
Which I'm going to program into my car as soon as I get in there.
Right.
All right, guys?
All right.
Cannot wait.
Absolutely.
Where can I pick up Hacker Airways?
You can actually go on to.
Don't let me change the subject, Pete. You're letting me change the subject.
No, I'm telling
you. Got to pin me down on this.
I'm telling you where you can go.
Okay.
You can go to their website, and you can listen on their live stream. You go to
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought I was doing that this morning.
Okay.
What's didn't you do?
WNHH?
NHH?
Yeah, that's it.
What number is that?
That's 102.3 on the.
I think I was on 87.7 today.
Okay.
And I think I was hearing Irish music. Does that sound about right?
Depending on what's on their program.
Is the robot doing that?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's all.
Well, I like that robot. I want that robot because
all
November is such a great. For me, I love Irish music in November. It
Right.
starts to get, you lose the leaves. It starts to feel, a little chill in the air.
You know what else I want to talk about?
But you didn't pin me down on the critical race theory. He didn't pin me down. I'm trying to.
Well, Pete and I.
Yeah.
I want to see the letter.
Oh, I'll give you the letter. I'll send you the letter. But let me just make it. Let me just say it so that, like you asked me.
Yeah, say it.
Are we almost out of time? Because I want to stretch this out so that we're out of time. What does that mean? This is great. Sorry, I know you guys are pros. I know.
Hold on. Okay.
Okay. All right, 6 seconds.
No.
60
No, we still got time.
Okay, great. Here we go. So you guys get this story. Unbelievable.
Okay.
I think that our school systems and literary institutions in general, especially public school systems, their main objective is to preserve democracy.
Absolutely.
So, do we teach communism in schools? Yeah, our kids should graduate our schools. It distracts me when you're on the phone. I'm sorry. It's okay.
No, I'm just checking. I'm checking.
I know
time
you're
segments.
working. I know you're working, but it's distracting to me.
Sorry. Go ahead.
It's not a pet peeve. That may have looked like it was a pet peeve of mine, but it's not.
It was, but keep going.
All right. So anyway, we teach communism,
right?
Because as far as teaching history, it's like here see converse with the wise of all the ages. We should take every idea, regardless of what it is, and not be afraid to present it to kids and let them think about it.
Right.
So my mantra is this: nothing should be off limits, especially in the high school. Nothing should be off limits in the sense that, as long as our teachers are thought-provoking, not thought-policing.
Correct.
And I think that we're turning it to a political thing because everyone's like, they are policing our kids' thoughts. But that's not. Teachers aren't really trained to do that, and some may be. If they have evidence of somebody doing that, well, I'm the program coordinator in Madison, and one of the things that we train our teachers to do is just that. We're not creating incendiary arrows of communists to go out and undo our democracy. No, in fact, that thinking that we're getting our kids to do is designed to preserve that democracy, to be an antidote to hyperbolic narrative-based media. So that's what an educated person is, that they can keep all those ideas at arm's length, believe everything but believe nothing at the same time.
Absolutely.
So I know I said a lot in there, but
that's okay.
I didn't know you were going to pin me down on that question.
Well,
I forced you to wrestle me to the ground.
You did force me to wrestle you to the ground. See?
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm glad you brought it up.
See what happens when I.
So yeah, I'm running for Board of Ed.
Yeah.
Is this going to be published before Tuesday?
Yes.
Oh, all right.
Yes.
Okay. What else? You want me to ask you a question?
No. Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, this is a hot button issue, and politics can be nasty even on a local level.
Yes.
Right. Which it isn't, because I know everybody in town essentially,
right.
And one-on-one, it's always great. The conversations are always great.
Absolutely.
We may have difference of opinion, but they're always great in the small town of Clinton, which I love and has been a great place to raise my kids. But your mom was in politics, and she bore the dark side of it too. You want to talk about that?
Yeah. No.
My wife, same thing.
Right.
Like they're forced.
Absolutely.
You don't get paid for these jobs.
No.
Yet there is these strange power struggles. Like I'm not really interested in a power struggle. We're just trying to improve.
You're trying to improve
the
town.
education for our kids in
absolutely,
the town.
Absolutely.
You can always get better.
Absolutely. No, I think it's. I've actually been out of politics since she retired.
Have you ever had her on the show?
No. That would be a conflict of interest.
What? Like Como and Como?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be a
conflict of interest.
That would be a conflict of interest. I don't think I would. I don't think I would. I don't think I would want to. I don't think I would want to do that.
I'm trying to think who people have had their parents on the show, haven't they?
Nah, not really. But what I do.
Letterman's never had his mom.
No. But what I do want to ask is.
We're family.
Right.
We're basically family.
Pretty much. Do you miss
gas prices?
No. Do you miss coaching football?
Oh, I hope there's enough time for this.
Okay.
But when this Board of Ed thing popped up, and the opportunity to do it, talking to my kids. So my kid's a senior, right? I have a sophomore, so here I am coaching a team, and I think it was a disservice. Honestly, I think it was a disservice for JP. For me to be the coach, because here's a kid who threw for 3,000 yards his senior year.
Yeah.
And, getting him just to be all conference was an awkward feat for me, to speak about your own kid. So I think it's just better to have other adults who aren't their parents doting over them, which is what's happening to them. And I'm thrilled about it. JP's playing at Muhlenberg, and he's having some great success, and that's his. He owns it.
Right.
You know, I applied for the football job because it was like, well, I'll throw my hat in the ring, and if they need someone, I'll do it.
Right.
I would have been an assistant. Told them I would have been an assistant.
Right.
I do still think we should get someone, some help within the building to help out the coaching staff now. But
absolutely.
anyway, okay.
Pete, now would you mind sticking around for another
Yeah,
segment?
yeah, sure.
All right, we'll be right back.
They're saying, are they saying things to you?
We got one more segment or no?
Are they?
Sure. That was supposed to be a wrap.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, it's okay.
Okay.
Well, you know what? We'll come back and then we'll wrap.
It's just boring.
No.
Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2.
Welcome back to this week's edition of the Pete Mezzetti Show. I'm Pete Mezzetti, sitting here with Pete and I. Pete, we're actually about to run out of time, so before we do, I know.
That one thing I wanted to talk about?
What?
I said the show was going to be great.
What?
Which is a Stonewall Lane. When you were growing up in Clinton, how much time do we have? 10 seconds?
About 30.
Okay.
Go.
When we were growing up in Stonewall,
When I was growing up in
Clinton,
town.
do you remember Egypt Lane
Yes.
and the tall pines that?
Yeah.
were? Do you remember the house that was there?
No.
No. Well, they were the witches of Stonewall.
The spooky house.
So next time I'm on,
The spooky house.
It would have been perfect to
Yeah.
yeah. how we were talking about Board of Ed. No
Right.
one wants to hear about that.
No.
I wanted to talk about the spooky house. The spooky house.
All right.
You said the spooky house?
Yeah.
You know the spooky house?
Yes.
Well, I'm sorry. It's Halloween. This would have been perfect to do it. And when I said the show was going to be great today, this was going to be the topic.
Oh, there you go.
I don't know why we talked about it.
I don't know why, but Pete and I, thanks for some
All right.
time, and we'll see you again soon.
Yep, absolutely.
You got it. On behalf of Pete and I, I'm Pete Mezzetti. Thanks, and we'll see you next time.